I'm Woody, and today we're at the 2022 Shady Burro Enduro here in South Fork, Colorado. If you remember, we made an awesome video last year, so check it out. They've had a ton of rain, so there's been a little bit of an adjustment to the course, but these guys are still ready to have some fun. So we're not doing a full 200 miles this time, but that's okay. We're still gonna have an awesome time riding dirt bikes here in Colorado. Hope you guys enjoy the journey, baby. Let's get going! Woo! Thanks, guys! All right, first test. You're not gonna win it in this test, but you're certainly gonna lose.
Oh, how humorous it is to hear me talking about winning and losing. I should have been hyping myself up for a bloodbath of mud, wet rocks, slick roots, and oxygen deprivation.
Oh, it smells like cow poo.
Here's a quick teaser of the mud bath we were in store for. Once the dry parts of Test 1 were behind us, we began sloshing in and out of the deepening bogs and hidden rocks. This trail reminded me of Tank 7, except with more butt kickery.
Stand up! I need to stand up! Woo! Test 1 done. Transfer 1 done too. Holy crap, guys. So many miles in already. We're like 30 miles in. Oh God, this again? Oh my goodness. You can hear the rocks moving underneath the bike, over the engine. But I have to say, Test 1 was cool because it was fast to get going, but then man, it got into the slick, snotty, nasty rocks. I dabbed a lot, didn't actually crash, but I do have to say, this young man here behind me, Cooper, 15 years old, right in Colorado, young man, coming up behind me. That was awesome. We got another test, getting ready to go, baby. Getting seat time. Ow! Test 2 is done. Super fun, really flowy. But what's crazy is when you started getting on the steeper downhill spots, there was a lot of slick rocks, so you had to take it really easy. I took it easy going into the test. There was a couple times I did get passed by guys, and then I repassed them later on just because maybe they were going hot into the test. That was fun, that was slick. Guys, I stayed upright. That was the win there. Now apparently we got 3.2 miles of ass kickery. And maybe the trail is gonna look as beat up as that line just to get on it. So we'll see. Hey, I got it. Just stay out of my head right now. Yeah, dude. How's it going? I almost died. Almost died.
Almost died.
That nasty creek coming out of Bonito.
Yeah.
Oh, it had my number.
Got your lunch.
Oh my God. Let's be honest. That test kicked my ass, and it was hard AF. I spent so much time on the ground picking up the bike, trying to get momentum, and none of it. Once we got going, it was all right. It wasn't too bad, but man alive, that was a tough one. We're about halfway through, just got done with gas 1. So we're gonna go down Embargo, up Cathedral, which I'm sure is gonna be some very entertaining content for anybody that wants to watch me fall a lot. It's gonna be amazing. We got half the day left. Let's keep on getting seat time.
This was a comedy of errors, which I want y'all to enjoy. So here's a quick montage of me crashing down Embargo.
Well, f me. Of course. I hate to say it, but how the f are we gonna make it up Cathedral? Man, I can't breathe.
Yeah, I know, I'm panting. Holy
God. Nice work, Greg. Woo! Thanks, dude.
Yeah, that away. That's what I've been hearing.
Can I get you to move down just a bit?
No, absolutely not. No more moving.
Do you see how disheveled I look right now? That was the hardest thing I've ever done on a motorcycle. Absolutely insane. Coming down Embargo, I couldn't go slower. Like, I wanted to go slower and I couldn't do it. It was ridiculous. You just fell down all the slick, nasty stuff. It was horrible. But at the same time, it was somehow awesome. And apparently I'm supposed to start another test. Oh my God. It's time for a nap. Woo!
If nothing else, you can tell everybody I didn't quit at the bottom.
Once you're at the bottom of Embargo, you have to go back up Cathedral. That is, if you don't quit after finishing. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Greg Story. Cathedral is a lot like Embargo. It's just a different dynamic since you're heading uphill and there are so many more creek crossings. There are sections of Cathedral where the creek water is running down the trail, keeping the rocks at a pristine slickness. These moments on the trail make you feel a bit more badass. I mean, you're literally riding up a creek. The rest of the water in Cathedral is from the mini creek crossings. After you go through one, the water gets dragged down the trail, slowly dripping from the bikes as they bounce off of the rocky terrain. And oh, does it get rocky and rooty. The off-camber angle of some of the sections makes you wonder if you're trying to ride in an NC Escher drawing. When you crest the top of Cathedral, you can pat yourself on the back for being awesome.
Jesus, Pierce.
I know I wasn't fast, but dang, I felt accomplished.
I need a hug. I need a hug. Oh my gosh.
It was everything I said it was, huh?
This is definitely not everything I hoped and dreamed. Finally! A test that made it feel like I can ride a motorcycle. Put this in the back of your glove. Yeah. Cherishing the out of that pin.
Yep. I wish that I could tell you that that was an amazing day on a dirt bike, but that might have been one of the most challenging days for me ever riding a dirt bike. It challenged me physically, it challenged me mentally, it definitely challenged me emotionally. I think even spiritually, it challenged me a little bit. The trail was so slick in some sections, but man, these guys laid out a heck of a course and it was really hard. And I need to take this gear off and decompress, and maybe I'll have more thoughts later. Day 2 of the Shady Burro 2022 Enduro, baby. If you notice, there are a lot less riders in this line right now. Yesterday kicked our butt. This Texas guy, nice and sore, ready for more, ready to go, not a quitter, gotta finish your badge. Woo! Let's get day 2 underway, baby. Woo!
That dude that came ripping past me was a B rider. And I know he lives clear. But that's ridiculous and awesome. Keep it up, B-Rider.
I'm in the A class.
Okay, thank God. What class are you riding?
A250.
Hell yeah, dude. I loved watching you come by me in there. That was sick. I was like, I'm going slow and it feels awesome. I'm just keeping a pace. And I heard you and I was like, okay. Yeah, dude. Good work in there, man. We're in Alder Bench. And I'm gonna go nice and slow. I'm gonna stay upright. We're gonna have fun. But we had heck of a time back there. 2 hours. I'll take some time to tell you all about it. But right now, we're riding Alder Bench. Supposed to be a super fun trail with a couple gnarly spots. We'll see how it goes. Oh yeah, that was gnarly. Way too over the front of the bike. Man, this trail seems primo. It sucks that I'm such a slow rider. Oh, Nikes. That'll get your attention. This is when a pivot turn would come in handy, that's for sure. Man, those switchbacks were something special.
Test 3, for those who weren't able to race West Alder, was extra fun. The speed you can carry could easily get you into a lot of trouble.
Ow! Well, that hurt. Damn it, that sucks. I was doing so good, and now I don't have a rear brake pedal. That last test was one of the coolest tests of the entire weekend. Fast, flowy, tons of traction. The rocks were loose and slick, but it wasn't like nasty and sloppy like some of the other ones were. Of course, I'm having tons of fun, carrying tons of speed, and then I completely biff it and catch my rear brake on a rock, and that's probably one of the best OTVs I've ever had in my life. That, I don't know how I came out unscathed, but I'm very glad that I did. Last test, and this guy's awesome. Oh, one last test. We're gonna finish the 2022 Shady Burro Enduro. Lots of thoughts. No rear brake, baby. Oh, buddy. No rear brake. Oh, that was scary. Thanks, guys. I'm back from the 2022 Shady Burro Enduro, and I've had an 11-hour drive to think about how it went. Number one, it's way hotter in Texas than I want it to be. The temperature in Colorado during this time of year is way more tolerable than this 100+ degree heat. It's pretty much horrible. The 2022 Shady Burro Enduro was extremely tough for me. As hard as it was last year, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually to get to the race, it was twice as hard for me this year. I feel like physically going into the race this year from last year that I am more fit. I am better on the bike. But unfortunately, I think from being off the bike 2 months beforehand, leading up to the Shady Burro, was a detriment for my ability on the bike. I just was not comfortable. And then of course you put in the fact that we had such crazy weather the week before leading up to the event, and then even on Saturday night, that it was so much more slick, so much more technical than it was last year, that it raised the bar for me to the complete next level. It was hard. The day on Saturday when we did Embargo going down, I do believe that that was one of the hardest things I've ever done on a motorcycle. And I did that trail last year and thought it was a ton of fun. I didn't ride it great by any means time-wise last year, certainly didn't this year, but something happened. I don't, again, like on that mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual level, like I was done. And so it was just get through the test. And I did, and then I kept going. I got up to Cathedral, didn't really go that great, but I finished day one,
Day 2 was kind of crazy. When we got to test 2, a rider was injured, and instead of, you know, kind of make the call quickly to whether we were going to keep the test or get rid of the test, because there was, you know, 100 riders probably sitting there waiting at the start of the test, which we sat for about an hour and a half. They should have canceled that sooner, because as the day wore on, they then had to throw out other tests because they needed to get us back before some of the nasty rains were going to come in that afternoon. So the day did get cut short on the second day, but that's okay. This was still an amazing event. I'm so glad I went. In the future, I think I will do this trip a little bit different. I won't go to Sargent's anymore. I do think that going up there, I noticed, again, I checked my metrics, that my blood oxygen level started to tank, my HRV started to rise. That's not good for me. For someone who's had high altitude pulmonary edema before, for having psoriatic arthritis, that means that my body is deteriorating, and that's why I track that. And so I think I'm gonna go out there and find a less taxing place to ride, a little bit, so to be able to get some seat time out there in Colorado, but maybe not kick my butt in Sargent's like I did. So I hope you guys enjoyed this recap. If you have not gone to the Shady Burro Enduro, I think you should put it on there as a bucket list. It's a must-do 2-day event. Don't just do one day. I want you to do both days. Keep up with the finisher badges. We need those. I want a day 1 and a day 2 finisher badge. I don't want the same one for both days. Maybe Seat Time should sponsor the finisher badges for 2023. If you think we should do that, let me know in the comments below. If you have done it, definitely hit the comments. How did it go for you? Did you enjoy the 2022 Shady Burro Enduro? If you want to support Seat Time, you can go to shop.seattime.co. Of course, we have a limited number of these pre-order shirts left and a couple of the 1 down 5 up limited editions. So that does help trips like this, videos like this, and everything we're trying to create here at Seat Time. So if you want to support us, that's a great way to do that. Thank you very much to everyone that came by. If nothing else, hopefully we get to see you on the trails. If we don't get to see you on the trails, we'll see you on the internet, and enjoy getting seat time. Peace.